All right, so there's three very simple, fairly effective ways to get to over-under for Amouzad Khalili, or Amouzad because that is way too long of a name. The first one, really simple. He's just gonna go try to do it right away. All right, so you see, he essentially just goes out and grabs it. All right, let's take a look at a couple things though. So as he starts to get close, we're gonna see the side he likes to overhook. That hand is obviously gonna come over top. His other hand is gonna come underneath on the side he likes to underhook. But the other thing we're gonna see is his shoulders twist to get it, his underhook shoulder low, overhook shoulder high. Because he's not too worried about this guy underhooking him back, because that really gives him his best throw option. So shoulder high, space with his elbow, not that worried about it because he doesn't mind the guy having an underhook. All right, and it's the opposite on the other side. His underhook shoulder low and his elbows in, and then just punches straight into his over under. All right, fairly simple, fairly effective. All right. Here's another one, same idea. He's just gonna come out and reach for it. So we're gonna see overhook hand come over, play at full speed real quick. All right. So again, doesn't mind this elbow being up. So he doesn't mind giving up underhook. We'll see that shoulder's high, making this shoulder low. Punches his hook in, and then drops his head over to the other side. The other thing that this does is as he attacks this position, by twisting his shoulders that way, he really wants to get his underhook shoulder in the center of the opponent's chest and underneath them, so he can stand them up and get good pressure on them safely. So here we'll see him dip his shoulder, and he's trying to get his shoulder below his opponent's shoulder, ideally like sternum area. It's pretty low and fairly hard to get, especially at senior level, but that's what he's looking to control right away when he punches into this over underhook. This one's essentially the same as the one before. He just level changes before he jumps into his over under position. All right, but other than that, it stays pretty much the same as the first one we looked at, where he just reaches for it. So here we see him level change again because he wants his shoulder underneath the guy's chest. And as he jumps into his over under, he can move up and through the guy as opposed to just straight in, which makes it a little bit safer. Goes up and through, and again, same kind of stuff. Elbow rotates in, other hand reaches over top, and he's set in his over under position. Here he drop throws this guy. Same one here. Level change, jump. Again, he's not that worried about space under this arm. And we see his other hand already rotating down to attack underhook. Nice little off balance here. I mean, this guy, Aguyev, is one of the best, probably 57 kilo guy in the world right now. And he's able to pretty much get to this position off this kind of jump hook. But we see that where in the previous clips, the opponent didn't really match Amouzad's level change, where here Aguyev is trying to match levels so that he doesn't get shoulder position or head position on him as he jumps into this hook. So he jumps, so we see him drop his head right away into Amouzad's shoulder to deny that shoulder position that he wants, and it makes his hook way longer and less effective. Okay, this is one of the dangers of him reaching his elbow high, is that the opponent can go underneath it if they do a good job of timing it. So here, he's on one knee, level changed, and this is my favorite part. All right, level change. He claps at Aguyev. Listen, not the guy you want to clap at. All right, clap, and then he tries to jump into his underhook, kind of like the old school elementary clap double leg. Clap, tries to jump into his underhook, and Aguyev's like, "You're not clapping at me. I'm gonna go score." So here we see him reach high with this arm. As it comes in again, Aguyev does a great job of not letting him, Amouzad get his shoulder position. So he blocks it with his head. Keeps Amouzad's overhook high, or overhook hand high. And then uses his own backside overhook to go underneath and attack like an outside carry. Actually really nice. He ends up pinning him here, which is pretty good. I really like this one. He basically uses an elbow pass type motion to get to his underhook. All right, either from collar tie, or he does like a little 2-on-1 kind of clear as well to get to this underhook. So a couple things this kind of does. Number one, it clears him off his head, so we see him attack the opponent's collar tie elbow. Elbow passes it off. Now he has a decent angle to attack this side of the opponent's body, which tends to make the opponent circle away as soon as you elbow pass. All right. It also often makes them want to reach and grab something with their opposite side hand, so that they can try to defend or just reset the position. So this elbow pass is going to make them circle away and often make them reach. And the last thing it does is it gets their arm already inside of the side he likes to overhook. So those three things make this an effective way to get to over-under. So we see the opponent's hand reach to tie up as Amouzad's hand is coming underneath. And then we see the opponent punch their own underhook. And Amouzad pinches it off, gets its hook position, and is ready to start scoring. Same idea here. We see him elbow pass, so collar tie, elbow control, elbow passes off. Now we see the opponent's hand come right back up. All right, this is when he starts taking his second hand to it, kind of like a 2-on-1 type clear. And again, he takes his hand down, and when he's got his opposite hand on it, he can almost feed it into his armpit. So as he rolls his hand down, he'll push it out just a little bit, and it'll incentivize the other wrestler to try and underhook him. And then we see also the opponent's going to start to circle away a little bit from this elbow pass motion, and Amouzad punches his hook on the backside, and he's got the position he wants, and right into one of his main attacks. Here again, we see him drop his head to elbow pass. All right. Opponent's hand stayed high, so he's going to use his free hand, or what will be his underhook hand, to knock this hand down. Knocks it down. Opponent's trying to establish some kind of contact, and they start to shift to his underhook side, and it feeds right into hand going underneath armpit to attack his underhook. Here he kind of combines a few things. So here we're going to see this level change. Trying to get into his over-under. Opponent blocks him with collar tie. Alright, there. He's going to do a 2-on-1 clear, so he's still got elbow control. Other hand comes across to grab wrist. Takes his hand across. Again, makes opponent start to circle away a little bit. And reach up and grab. Alright. And then Amouzad basically does that level change jump into his over-under position right away. Alright. Play that on full speed so you can see kind of how fast this whole sequence is. Clear, jump, and he's up and in to his over-under position, looking to score. And the last way he gets to his over-under is off the guy's attack. So opponent tries to shoot, catches him with his arms, and then looks to transition back up into his over-under. Let's go back to this first clip. Alright, so opponent shoots, gets his arms in between, he's controlling outside their arm on his overhook side, and has already punched his underhook in as the guy's recovering. So as the opponent recovers, right up in, and we can really see that shoulder position that he wants to stand the guy up. And whoop. In here, opponent attacks, arms in the way. Here he looks for a go behind for a little bit, which is a fine option, but he's also kind of underhooking as well. As the opponent squares up and recovers, he's continuing to work his underhook hand in while controlling that backside. Yeah, man, I'd be grabbing his singlet too, trying to get thrown on my head. But he does it anyway.